We're live. I'm so sorry.
No, you're fine. We'll just pick up where we left off.
Yeah, talking about literacy.
The importance of health literacy. Um,
And so, Andrea, I'm sorry. What were you saying? I did not
Oh,
mean
no,
to
I
cut
was
you off.
just saying that I think it's important with all the resources we have now because, you can read online and you can totally self-diagnose.
Oh, yeah.
But without self-literacy, you're going to be going to the doctor a lot with false diagnoses and all this kind of stuff. So if you don't have a little bit of health literacy, you're going to have a lot of paranoia in your life and stuff.
That's a good point.
My experience, I've been around a lot of people who had very low health literacy but had a lot of health problems. And they had problems because they weren't able to take care of themselves. Like diabetics that didn't understand how to take care of their diet so they wouldn't spike their blood sugar levels and then drop really low. And so I had to have training on what the symptoms were for a lot of the common diseases for somebody not taking care of themselves.
yeah,
So-
and also it's important so you can know what to tell your healthcare providers too, like if something's applicable,
Or even how to articulate that there's something wrong. Instead of just saying my stomach hurts, actually articulating that it hurts after I eat this or other symptoms that might be
right,
causing it or
not really their stomach, it might be their, gut or whatever.
yeah, their intestines or their bowels or whatever. And it seems like that health literacy would be so important because it's kind of like the foundation what you can build your health on. If you don't understand what's happening to yourself and if you don't understand what the doctor is telling you what you need to do, then the chances of you maintaining health and doing preventative things is probably pretty low.
Yeah. All right. So, do we know where the Shannon-Weaver Model 7 key components are? Because I don't think I found them.
It's in Chapter 11, and when I pull Chapter 11 up, it tells me it's page 4 of 27. It's under Action Model of Communication.
Okay. I'm just getting some emails from Katie saying that she doesn't see the link
Okay.
for Google Hangouts.
Okay, I sent it in our little chat box, but let me see if I can send her an email. I'll just send her an email with it in.
I'm sending it right now.
Okay.
Okay. It's sent to her, so she should get it
Perfect.
now. All right. So it's under Chapter 11.
Yeah, Chapter 11, and then
Quiet, I'm trying to do all this.
and my computer says it's page 4. I don't know if that's. Oh, the top of the page says 278.
You said that's in the action model of communication?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, I see it.
It says below it illustrates the basics of the Shannon-Weaver model. So I'm guessing this is what he's talking about.
Basically, sender, encoding, message, channel, decoding, receiver, noise.
Okay. So,
Sounds like TV stuff.
did you guys watch the public service announcement, the texting and driving video?
Yeah, I did at the beginning of the week. I should have watched it right before we.
There's really not much to it. It's just like these teenagers are driving in their car, and one of them's texting their mom while she's driving, and she goes up into the other person's lane, and then it kind of slows down, slow motion, and they both step out of the car, the two drivers, and they, face each other, and the person's like, hey, you're in my lane, and all this stuff. And, actually didn't watch the rest, but something like that.
Yeah, I've seen a few of those.
So we need to evaluate the PSA and discuss the components as well as the message to you. So, I don't know, for those of you who didn't watch it yet, if you wanted to take time and watch it, or if you get the general message.
How long is it?
It's about like a minute.
Yeah, it's not long.
Oh, I think I've seen this one.
Yeah.
It's weird how both of the people have the same car.
Yeah.
I didn't even notice that. That's so funny.
You know that you're in my lane? No, not at all.
No, not at all.
Are you not paying attention?
Are you not paying?
Are you texting? I was just checking in with my mom. I was telling her that I thought we'd be home by 6.
Are you
It's okay.
texting?
There's enough time. Just pay attention. I'm not even halfway through my text. There's no way. I'm not even going to look up. My babies are in the car. You have to pay attention. It's supposed to be a quick text. I'm so sorry.
All right. They're pretty well done. Really neat commercial or PSA.
Okay, so let's discuss. Do you guys want to go through the components one by one and discuss what we saw in the PSA?
Yeah.
This is Shannon Weaver with like the sender encoding that thing.
Yeah.
Right? Okay.
So the sender is the person or source of the information to be communicated. This would be the initiator of communication from a health communication perspective. So who originated the health message here?
So would that be like the public service department or whoever it is, like the motor vehicle or, whoever
Yeah.
made the commercial?
Stay on the thing. I don't know if it says on the thing. Dramatic.
Yeah, I think it does. In the very last part, the screen comes up and it says something. But
Yeah,
I
it
didn't
says,
pay attention.
Don't text and drive, 1 hour optical, News Channel 6. I think it just showed it. It's just a public announcement brought to you by
Yeah. I would.
the optical people or News Channel 6. Okay, and then, so just from the organization. So let's move on to encoding. And that's the way the information is packaged for transmission. So let's see, it says it's put into a particular language or symbols that is expected to be decoded by the intended receiver. So what kind of...
So wouldn't that
Would
be
that mean it?
pulse would
package
we
it
see?
like that it's a video?
That's what I was kind of. It's a video. It's in English, and it's done in a way that's like applicable to nowadays.
Yeah.
I don't know if that would go. It's very culturally appropriate for.
Yeah, like it has like the iPhone bubbles and stuff, and also
Yeah.
it's very like emotional. Like it's kind of shot towards like emotions, like with like my kids are in the car,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And the girl's trying to, defend herself, saying she's just texting her mom,
Yeah.
type of thing.
Shock to it a little bit. I think there's a shock factor to it with the accident, showing the accident at the end,
At the end, yeah.
and kind of showing how suddenly it can happen.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oof.
Okay, so message, the package of information to be communicated. So this refers to the content of what is being communicated. Um, let's see.
So that's kind of what we talked about with having maybe with having the shock factor, with it being touching on our emotions, how quickly it can happen. And the commercial is only a minute long, so it's just like a quick, makes you think kind of message.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
So the
and
message, go ahead.
it's really directed towards teenagers because it's quick, like you said. Teenagers aren't going to pay attention for more than that.
Yeah.
It's talking about kids getting hurt. They're not going to care very much. I mean, they're going to care if there's two old people in the car, but, you know.
It's not as applicable as it is, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And so it's very directed at, you know, teenagers texting while driving.
Right. I agree.
Yeah, and the message is don't text and drive, basically. That's the content of what we're getting here.
Yeah, and then it only happened. I mean, in it, she said, I wasn't even done texting. It was like 6 seconds or whatever she said, so that it happens. I mean, you take your eyes off the road for a millisecond, and that's all it takes, kind of thing.
Yeah, it's really like short and sweet. Like, get the message, get the point, get to the point soon type of message. So, going on to channel number 4, and that's the medium used to transmit the encoded message. So, typical channels that are used in everyday life that include face-to-face communication, telephone, email, newspaper, radio, television. So, obviously, this is like a commercial, I think, on TV.
Yeah.
I've seen it on Facebook too.
Oh,
have
yeah.
you? Okay, cool. So social media.
Yeah.
Basically, it's supposed to be strategically put in places where the target population are most likely to go to, like Facebook or on TV. So that's cool. Moving on to decoding. So that's the way the message is unpackaged following transmission. So as the sender encodes messages into a form that they believe the receiver will understand, the receiver decodes the message based on their knowledge and experience, as well as the context of the message.
So we have like the being like the type of like quick commercial with like modern day stuff, like towards like teenage lingo and stuff with the text messages, and so like the decoding could be like person's like I text my mom while I'm driving, like I have an iPhone.
Yeah.
I have people in my family that have little kids, and I wouldn't want that to happen. Or I have little kids, and like maybe I should encourage so and so to stop texting while driving. That could be like encoding, right?
Yeah. Yeah. The way the message the way the person interprets the message. Yeah. Very good. Let's see, receiver. So the person or target audience of the information communicated. Messages can be sent to an individual receiver or to masses of receivers, depending on the intent of the message and the channel used. So the receivers for this PSA were obviously people who text and drive. I want to say mainly teenagers, but it's mostly like, I've noticed a lot of older people texting and driving too.
Yeah, I think everybody.
So,
I think texting and driving maybe occurs more in teenagers and young adults, but yeah, I often pull up at a stoplight and there's, a 50, 60-year-old man sitting there texting away. So really, I think it's applicable to anybody who has a phone.
Yeah. And that's probably like what their target audience is, but I feel like particularly like this commercial is kind of targeting maybe like younger, like mothers because of like the children in the car. But I mean, I could also target like grandparents too, I guess you could say.
I've seen this same commercial, but it was two guys that are about my age, and one has his kids in the car, and he's trying to pull out, and the other guy comes around the corner going too fast, texting. And it's basically the same scenario. They get out, they talk to each other, they go back in their car.
Yeah, I think like why they chose teenagers as the receivers for this particular message was because, I don't know, maybe they thought teenagers have more distractions, and she had all of her friends in the car, and they're new drivers, so they're not used to the road yet. So yeah, but the receiver for this message can really be anyone.
Yeah.
Down to 7 is noise, or any of a variety of types of interference at any point during the process. So noise can be things that interrupt the sender, such as things going on in the background, or things that distract the receiver, such as hunger or preoccupation. Noise can also occur in the channel, such as slow internet connection, static in the television, or a dropped cell phone call. So what's the noise component in this PSA?
It could be slow internet too.
What was that?
It could be slow internet, because when I was trying to watch it, my internet's being dumb right now, and it's even cutting out of this video. But
oh yeah,
like,
is that what they're
stopped watching it because I could just hear, I think, Danny's or something.
Yeah, that's the only thing I can think of really. It would be the noise is slow internet, or if it's on the TV, the channel goes out. But I think most of the time when it's probably a commercial or something like that, there's probably relatively low noise because, it's not like it's a face-to-face and all of a sudden, oh, you see somebody you know, and or whatever,
Yeah,
I don't know.
It just depends on what's going on in your house.
Yeah, that's true.
Like some people mute commercials. You
Yeah.
know, I know I do. I don't want to hear it.
That's a great point. Yeah.
Yeah, my daughters like to dance around during commercials.
Yeah. That could be a distraction. A fun one though.
Yeah.
Okay, so we went through all the components. Now we just need to discuss which ones are the strongest components for this PSA and what could they have done differently. I think the strongest component I feel like is
I don't know if this is like this. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Chad.
I would say the encoding is the strongest because of the way they package the message.
That's what actually. I was going to say the same thing. So.
Decoding, you said?
Encoding.
Oh, encoding. Okay. Why was that? Because the way it was.
Just effectively packaged.
Okay.
Well, and it says in here, it says, in the information about encoding, it says when you send text messages that are certain the recipient will understand. I feel like this commercial, this PSA announcement, everybody understands, whether you have a lot of education or no education, right. You understand what's going on in the context of the commercial. You don't need much background in anything to be able to follow and understand what the message is.
Okay. So what kind of things can this PSA work on to make it more powerful and to get their message across maybe better?
I don't know. I can't think of anything. This is one of the most. The first time I saw it, I thought this is one of the most effective commercials I've ever seen.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty powerful. I mean, it's pretty emotional. Like nobody wants to hurt kids on accident, and that's what you get when you text and drive sometimes. So I think the content of the message was pretty powerful. As far as what they need to work on more, maybe like. I don't know, yeah.
Maybe the noise, maybe grabbing your attention at the beginning or something, because like you said, a lot of people mute commercials and stuff, so maybe they need to grab your attention a little more at the beginning so they don't mute the commercial.
Yeah,
so it sucks you in right away, like you're, oh, I want to see what this is.
Yeah, like instead of having a bunch of teenage girls talking in a car, like have, something
You
else.
could almost start with the car accident
something
you
else.
could almost start with the car accident and rewind.
Oh yeah.
You know, maybe that would
Yeah,
suck you in. I don't know.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah,
So-
I think that would.
How did the message change behavior?
Well, hopefully it makes people realize how dangerous being on your phone, especially texting, can be.
Mm-hmm.
You know, hopefully it makes people think twice about sending a quick text, or if they need to at that moment, pulling over into the gas station or wherever to send it, and or have the person sitting next to you in the passenger seat send the text for you.
Right. So it makes them basically just think twice about, texting, or maybe they'll turn off their phones when they're driving or have someone else text for them type of behavior. Maybe they're more careful when they're driving. Agreed?
Agreed.
Sounds good to me.
All right, so number 4 states, review the application assignment for this week and brainstorm any ideas or answers as a group on how to evaluate communication interventions. So, the application assignment, do we want to go through that real quick? Let's see.
Pretty much, you have to find 3 public service announcements. One's a television, one's a radio,
Okay.
and one's like a print. And then you go through exactly what we just did, and you do like the sender and coding, and you type what it is, and then you answer 3 questions on like what the impact was on you, what noise, and like what message decoded is the same as was encoded, kind of thing.
And we just go through all those components for each public service announcement? Okay.
Yeah, and then you answer 3 questions on each of those 3.
Well, that's pretty easy. There's a lot of PSA announcements out there, like really good ones. So this would be an application assignment that I'm excited about.
Yeah, I know. That's what I thought. This one might actually be kind of interesting and cool to do.
No offense.
Yeah, seriously.
It even has a link for the Ad Council's website.
Oh, where you can go and find them. That's nice.
Awesome.
Oh, yeah.
It should be super easy. It'll just take a little bit of time to do everything.
Yeah,
You can say on
exactly.
the bottom that it's like, you have to do it on your own or something. Like you can't do it as a group.
Oh, like we can't pick the same one and all.
Well, we could pick the same ones, but the work's supposed to be like our own, I guess.
Yeah. I think we're just going to review it. That's what they want. I don't know. All right. Do we have any other questions, comments, or concerns? It looks like we're not meeting next week, so we'll need to pick a group leader in 2 weeks during lesson 11.
That's one of our last lessons, or we're getting so close to the end.
Oh,
So excited.
Holy.
That's awesome.
I'm so done with this semester.
I hear ya.
Yep. All right. So, do we have any volunteers for next leader in 2 weeks?
I could do it.
Okay. Awesome.
And I'll post the link on like the relevance page.
The relevance board. Okay. Sounds good.
I forgot what I was going to say. Oh, 5:15 still, or does that time work for everybody that week so far?
Yeah, as far as I know, it works for me.
Okay,
Thursday,
perfect.
5:15.
Yep. Not
All
next Thursday, but the following Thursday.
Thursday.
So 2 weeks from now, I guess.
Yeah, I'll email everyone to make sure.
Okay.
Sounds good. All right. So,
Erica, I'll post the link since I think it posts to my YouTube account. So I'll post it, but I'll say you were the leader of the group because you were, so.
Okay. Sounds good. Thanks a lot for that.
No problem. Okay, see you guys in a couple weeks.
We'll see you guys. Thank you.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
Bye. Bye, Andrea. Nice to meet you.
Yeah, it was so nice. I'm glad you could join our group.
Thank you, guys.
No problem.
Bye.